the enchanted forest, where butterflies hummed like tiny violins and dandelion fluff learned to dance, lived a brown teddy bear named Tumbly. Tumbly had soft, well-loved fur, a round tummy that wobbled when he giggled, and bright button eyes that shone with curious light. He lived in a cozy cottage tucked between two mossy stones, with a teacup-shaped window and a door that made a friendly creak each time it opened. One sunny morning, Tumbly woke up to the warm smell of honey toast and the sound of birds playing hide-and-seek in the bushes. He stretched his little arms, yawned a big teddy yawn, and said, "Good morning, courage. Good morning, kindness. Let's have a gentle day." He said this every morning, because it made his heart feel brave. Today, Tumbly planned to visit Sunny Meadow, a bright clearing in the forest where wildflowers wore their best colors like tiny party hats. The meadow was a favorite place for friends to meet, sing, and share snacks. The air there felt like smiling. Tumbly packed a small basket. He put in honey toast, 2 berry muffins, and a ribbon. He didn't know who might need a ribbon, but ribbons were very useful. He also tucked in his sketchbook to draw new friends. "Adventure, let's be gentle," he whispered, which made him feel ready. The path to Sunny Meadow wound past whispering ferns and over a stream that chuckled at itself. Tumbly hummed as he walked. Step, hum, step. He waved to a ladybug choir practicing scales on a leaf. He giggled when a puff of dandelion fluff tried to tickle his nose. He almost tripped over a root but he caught himself and said, "Oops, a daisies," because he liked to be kind to himself when he was clumsy. When he reached Sunny Meadow, the wildflowers were twinkling in the sun. Pink, yellow, blue. They swayed like little dancers. Butterflies danced too. A warm breeze carried the sweet smell of clover. Tumbly closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and let the sunshine fill him with courage. He felt small and brave all at once. "Hello, Meadow," he said. "Hello, friends," a soft voice answered. "Hello, Tumbly." It was Pip the field mouse, peeking from behind a buttercup. Pip wore a tiny green vest and had whiskers that giggled when he grinned. "Hi, Pip," Tumbly waved. "Would you like a berry muffin?" Pip's whiskers wiggled. "Yes, please. I've been practicing my squeak. Singing. I'd love a muffin for strength." They shared a muffin, crumbs sprinkling the grass like little stars. While they ate, tiny dewbells on the grass chimed very gently. Tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. Just then, a silvery shimmer slid across the meadow. The shimmer felt like a hug on the wind. A patch of tall clover glowed softly, and a small, gentle shape peeked out, a shy unicorn foal with a short, pearly horn. Her coat looked like twilight clouds, and her mane fell like silky moonlight. She blinked her big eyes and looked ready to hide again. Tumbly gasped softly. He remembered hearing of the Meadow Mother, a kind unicorn who watched over the meadow, and he wondered if this foal was her child. He tucked his paws close to his chest so he wouldn't seem too big or too excited. "Hello," he said in his warmest whisper. "My name is Tumbly. I like honey toast and new friends." The foal stepped forward one tiny step, then another, then back again, then forward again. "Hello," she said. Her voice sounded like a tiny bell in a seashell. "I'm Luma." Pip squeaked a happy squeak. "Hi, Luma. Would you like a crumb?" Luma sniffed the air. "I like the sweet smell," she said, "but I'm not sure about crumbs." She looked around the meadow with hopeful eyes. "I'm trying to find my echo." "Your echo?" Tumbly tilted his head. "What does your echo do?" Luma's ears twitched shyly. "Mama told me when a unicorn foal finds her echo for the first time, she learns how brave her voice is. The echo answers from the heart of the meadow. But the wind keeps running away with my words, and I feel shy, so my echo stays quiet." Tumbly's heart made a soft thump of understanding. He knew about shyness, Sometimes his words hid behind his tongue like tiny turtles. He also knew about bravery. It was small, like a candle, but it glowed very bright when friends were near. "We can help," Tumbly said. "Pip is good at squeak, singing, and I brought a ribbon. Ribbons help, sometimes." Pip puffed his chest. "I'm also good at squeak counting. 1, 2, 3. Luma smiled, just a little. Her horn glinted softly. "I would like help," she said, "but we must be gentle. The meadow listens best to gentle hearts." Tumbly stood up tall, or as tall as a teddy bear could be. He took a deep breath. "Gentle, brave, and helpful," he said. "That's our team." Then he almost tripped over his basket as he stood. He caught himself, wobbled, and giggled. "Oops, a daisies." The three friends walked through Sunny Meadow together. The flowers hummed a hello song. The clover tickled Luma's ankles. Pip marched ahead and blew a tiny whistle made of grass. Toot, toot, toot. Tumbly followed, holding the ribbon like a little flag. First, they tried the daisy ring, a circle of big daisies like sunny clocks. Luma took a breath. "Hello," she said to the middle of the ring. Her voice fluttered like a butterfly. They listened with their ears. They listened with their hearts. Only the bees replied. "Buzz, buzz, buzz." Pip nodded. "The bees are very good singers, but that is not your echo." "Maybe the echo is shy too," Tumbly said. "Let's try a new place." They tried the Clover Hill. Luma climbed to the top and looked out over the meadow. The wind ruffled her mane. "Hello," she said a little louder. "Hello?" A nearby frog answered instead. Ribbit-low. He seemed proud of his echoing skills. The frog wore a tiny leaf as a cape and bowed. Pip clapped his paws. "Good job, Sir Frog." Tumbly laughed and bowed back. "Thank you, Sir Frog. We are looking for Luma's echo." "Try the echoing wishes," the frog said. "Old path, old stones. The meadow remembers there." He pointed with his chin toward a narrow path of flat stepping stones half hidden in grass. "Echoing wishes," Tumbly repeated. The words felt like fireflies. "Shall we?" "Gentle feet, brave hearts," Luma whispered. And they went. They followed the stepping stones as they curved through the meadow, past a place where the grass grew tall and soft, and past a place where the ground sparkled like sugar. Birds circled above them. One bird wore a tiny acorn hat. "Good luck," the bird chirped. At last, they came to a little hollow lined with smooth stones worn by time and wishful whispers. A shallow pool of clear water rested in the middle. Silver minnows made silver commas that winked in the sunlight. The air was very quiet here. Even the breeze was listening. "The echoing wishes," Pip breathed. "I can almost hear the old stories." Tumbly felt the hush settle in his fur. He knelt by the pool and saw his face looking up at him, round, brown, and a little surprised. He smiled at his reflection, and his reflection smiled back. He dipped the ribbon's end into the water, just a tiny bit, and the water made a happy sip. "See." Luma stepped to the pool's edge. "I want to be brave," she said softly. "I want to hear my echo, but my voice feels small." Tumbly closed his eyes. He remembered the very first time he visited Sunny Meadow, when he had worried no one would want a clumsy teddy for a friend. He had told the meadow, "Hello," in a whisper, and the meadow had answered with warm sun and kind breezes. He remembered that brave did not have to be loud. Brave could be steady. Brave could be you. "Small is okay," Tumbly said. "Small can still shine." He held out the ribbon. "Would you like a bravery ribbon? We can tie it around your hoof. It can remind you that we are here." Luma's eyes brightened. "Yes, please." Pip tied the ribbon in a neat bow around Luma's front hoof. The bow looked like a little sunrise. Luma took a breath and let it out. In, out, in, out. The meadow breathed with her. "Hello," Luma said to the pool. Her voice trembled like a tiny bird. "Hello. I am Luma." They listened, the water listened, the stones listened. A whisper came back. "Hello, I am Luma." Luma gasped. The minnows scattered into commas again. Pip clapped and squeaked. Tumbly felt happy tears tickle behind his eyes. Luma tried again. "I am here. I am here," the echo replied, soft but clear. Luma stamped one little hoof in delight, then looked shy quickly, then brave again. "I am brave," she whispered. "I am brave," the echo said, hugging the words as it returned them. Luma's eyes shone. A tiny spark twinkled at the tip of her horn and popped like a soap bubble into stardust. The stardust drifted down into the pool and made little rings that hummed. The hollow felt warm with pride, like a quiet cheer. "Thank you," Luma told the pool. "Thank you," she told the stones. "Thank you," she told her friends. The ribbon fluttered on her hoof and made a small, happy sound. Tumbly's tummy wobbled as he held a happy giggle. "We did it together," he said. "Gentle, brave, and helpful." Pip puffed his chest again. "And squeaky," he added, very seriously. Just then, a soft cloud passed over the sun. A hush settled that felt different, like a held breath. From the far side of the hollow came a rustle, then a tiny sniffle, then a little squeaky cry. "Oh dear, I am stuck." The friends turned. Behind a curtain of grass, a small shape wiggled and wobbled and could not get free. It was a hedgehog, round and worried, with a few little burrs clinging to his prickles. His nose was pink with fretting. Beside him lay a tiny wagon filled with wildflower seeds and a folded map made of leaf. Pip squeaked, "Trouble, but gentle trouble." Tumbly nodded. "We can help." He walked close, very slow, so as not to startle the hedgehog. "Hello, I'm Tumbly. May we help you?" "Oh." The hedgehog peeked between the grass and sniffled. "Hello," he said. "I am Bristle. I was bringing seeds to the Meadow Mother's garden so the butterflies would have extra nibblies. A gust rolled my wagon, and I rolled too. And now I am here, and my prickles are full of tickly burrs. Every time I try to move, I roll. I am a wobbly wheel." Tumbly looked at the burrs. They were stuck like tiny, clingy stars, he thought. Burrs and prickles did not like to let go. But he had a basket with honey toast and muffins and, oh, he had a spool of soft twine at the bottom for tying sketches. He also had sap soap he made with Blossom the rabbit last spring. "For muddy paws, Bristle," Tumbly said gently. "We can make a soft bath with sap soap. Burrs do not like slippery. Then we can comb your prickles with twine and patience. It will be slow, but we can do slow." Bristle sniffed. "Slow is good. I like slow when I am scared." Luma stepped closer, her ribbon bow bright and brave. "I can glow a little to keep you warm while you dry." Her horn flickered like a tiny lantern. Pip hopped into the air and landed with both paws up. "I will be the cheer-up squeaker." Tumbly set down his basket and took out a foldable leaf bowl Blossom had taught him to make. He filled it with water from the clear pool. He added a few drops of sap soap. The soap made friendly bubbles. Pop, pop, pop! Then he dipped the end of the twine in the soapy water. "Okay, Bristle," Tumbly said. "I'm going to roll you very gently into this soft grass spot. Pip will sing, Luma will glow, I will hum." They worked together, one burr at a time, one breath at a time. Pip squeak sang a little song. "Burrs are sticky, prickles tricky. We go slowly, soft and quickly." "That doesn't rhyme," he whispered to Tumbly. "It rhymes in my heart." Tumbly whispered back, and Pip grinned. Luma's glow made the grass look like green tea. Tumbly hummed a cuddle, sort of hum. He wound the twine gently around the burrs and tugged them loose, plink, 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 into a pile. He slipped his soft scarf under Bristle so the hedgehog could roll without getting grass in his prickles. Bristle sighed as each burr left. His sighs sounded like tiny foghorns. "Whew, almost Tumbly said. Just 3 more. 2, 1. Plink! Bristle wiggled. He stood up very slowly. He tested his prickles with a little shake. Then he smiled so big his cheeks made 2 dimples. I feel like a smooth stone, he said. Thank you. His pink nose wiggled toward the wagon. But my wagon is still tippy, and my map is crinkled, and I am very bad at not rolling. I am a wobbly wheel again. He looked down sadly. Tumbly patted Bristle's shoulder. Sometimes I wobble too, he said. I wobble a lot. But I keep going. We can fix the wagon. We can smooth the map with a song. And if you wobble, we will steady you. Together, Luma said. Together, Pip squeaked. Tumbly knelt by the wagon. One wheel was loose. He tightened it with a tiny twig. Wrench, a very useful twig he kept in his basket. He used the ribbon's other end to tie a comfort knot around the wagon handle so Bristle could hold it with less slip. He smoothed the leaf map by spreading it on a warm rock, where Luma's glow and the patient sun made it flat and neat again. Pip sprinkled a few seed kernels into his paws and did a squeak dance to cheer them on. He squeaked so hard his vest puffed up. Bristle laughed. The laugh made him forget to wobble for a whole moment, and in that moment, he stood tall. Thank you, Bristle said again. Will you come with me to the Meadow Mother's garden? I am afraid to go alone. The path goes past the flutter bushes. They tickle. I might roll again. Tumbly nodded at once. We will come. He felt his shy place whisper. Are you sure you can help more? But his brave place answered gently. We help with kindness, not with perfection. And his curious place added, I want to see the flutter bushes. They set off, a friendly parade. Tumbly with his basket, Pip with his squeak, Whistle, Luma with her soft glow, and Bristle with his wagon now rolling straight. They followed the stepping stones out of the hollow and along a path that curved like a smile. The flutter bushes were waiting, all fluffy and giggly. They were bushes covered in feather-soft leaves that liked to brush against noses. As soon as the friends stepped near, the bushes rustled, then fluttered, then tickled. Pip sneezed. Achoo squeak! Tumbly squeaked too, but it was a bear squeak. Squee! He almost tripped on a root, then caught himself. Oops, a daisies! Bristle wobbled. The bushes fluttered. Luma laughed, then remembered to glow steady. We can make a game, she said quickly. Walk slow, step strong, count together. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, Tumbly repeated. He moved one paw and put it down like a gentle drum. 1, 2, 3. Pip squeaked in time, stepping lightly. 1, 2, 3, Bristle said, and held the wagon handle. He stepped slowly. He did not roll. He breathed in. He breathed out. He smiled a little. The flutter bushes kept tickling. But now, it was funny, not scary. The path opened to the other side. They arrived at the Meadow Mother's garden, a quiet, glowy place where the flowers looked extra glad to see you. The garden was surrounded by smooth white stones that hummed if you tapped them. The butterflies here wore colors even the rainbow hadn't thought of yet. The Meadow Mother herself was not there, but her kindness was like a warm blanket folded neatly on a chair. They planted bristle seeds together. Tumbly used his paws to pat the soil soft. Pip Squeak sang a sprout song, very gentle, so the seeds could hear the promise of sun. Luma touched the ground with her horn, and let a spark of stardust sink into the earth for good dreams. Bristle pressed each seed in with a careful wiggle of his nose. When they finished, a breeze came with a sweet smell of clover, and a sound like a smile. A rainbow only you could feel settled over them. The butterflies nodded, as if to say, good job, good hearts. Tumbly sat back and looked at the garden. His round tummy wobbled with a gentle laugh. We did a lot today, he said. We found an echo. We helped a friend. We did not roll. Much. Bristle giggled. I rolled just a tiny roll. But then I remembered 1, 2, 3. He stood straighter. I think I am not a wobbly wheel. I am a careful wheel. You are a careful wheel, Luma agreed. And I am a unicorn with a voice. Hello, I am Luma. She smiled to hear the echo in her memory. Pip puffed his chest once more. And I am a squeaker with a song. He blew his grass whistle. Toot! They shared the last muffin and the honey toast, and the honey dripped a little on Tumbly's paw. He licked it off and sighed happily. Honey means home, he said. But today, the meadow felt like home too. On the way back through Sunny Meadow, they passed the daisy ring again. The bees were still singing. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Sir Frog in his leaf cape waved from a lily pad and called, Ribbitlow! Bristle called, Ribbitlow! Back and laughed at how brave his voice sounded. When they returned to the little hollow of echoing wishes, Luma paused. She looked at the pool. She looked at Tumbly. May I try one more? She asked. Yes, Tumbly said. We have time for many mores. Luma stepped to the edge of the pool. Pip stood beside her, paws folded like a tiny choir. Tumbly stood on her other side. The meadow lifted its ear. Luma said, with a warm and steady voice, Thank you. Thank you, the echo said back, and the water moved in rings that looked like smiles. They stood together and watched the rings fade. Then they started home. Pip took a little nap on Tumbly's shoulder. Snoring, squeak, snore, squeak, snore. Bristle trundled along with his wagon, humming the 1, 2, 3 song. Luma walked with soft steps, her ribbon bow fluttering, her horn glinting in the late sun. At Tumbly's cozy cottage, they rested on the porch. Tumbly poured clover tea into tiny cups. They sipped, they smiled. The sun sank into the trees like a golden peach. Today was a good day, Tumbly said softly. We were gentle. We were brave. We helped. I found my echo, Luma said. I found my steady, Bristle said. I found a new rhyme, Pip added. Honey is sunny and friends are funny. He blinked. In my heart it rhymes, Tumbly giggled. It rhymes in mine too. He looked at his friends and felt full of warm soup feelings. He thought of the ribbon, the burrs, the flutter, bushes, and the garden. He thought of the pool that listened and the echo that answered. He thought of how small voices can be very brave. As the first stars peeked out, Tumbly whispered his nighttime words. Good rest, courage, good rest, kindness, good rest, gentle day. He looked at Luma, Pip, and Bristle, and he looked at the meadow beyond the trees, glowing softly in the moonlight. Tomorrow, he said, we can help again. We can listen again. We can be brave again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, his friends echoed. A night breeze came and tucked a sleepy blanket over the cottage. Crickets began their tiny violin songs. The teacup window shone once, like a wink, and then dimmed. In the enchanted forest, where magic was kind and troubles were small enough for many paws to carry, Tumbly the teddy bear drifted into dreams. He dreamed of Sunny Meadow and the echoing wishes. He dreamed of a ribbon bow shining in moonlight. He dreamed of voices that learned they could be brave, even when they felt small. And the meadow, listening as always, whispered back a promise for morning. Hello, I am here. Hello, we are brave. The end.